And we're live. Hi everyone, this is MH Gamer, and I'll be returning to Civ 5 Vox Populi, and I'll be discussing two new beta versions. Life has been busy, so I haven't been on top of it. I do apologize for that, but real life comes first, unfortunately. Anyways, I will be discussing about the September 9th version and the September 15th version. By the time this video comes out, it's been a few days, but I think it'll be fine. I mean, the versions are coming out pretty quickly, so it's kind of hard to keep up. So let's talk about September 9th. It was a very interesting. The game you see before you is actually the 15th one. So a few things got changed back and forth, so it's interesting to say the very least. So, let's see. So there are a few things that have been changed. Oh, where do I start? Okay, I'll just go down the list. Okay, so first let's talk about granary. So with the granary, the idea is that now investing in the granary is actually a better investment. So granary is available in pottery. I know what you're thinking, tech. I'll talk about that in a moment. But right now, granary, it gives plus 25 food when completed. So the idea is that now when you build a granary, it will not only give you more food. So it gives you more food from wheat, deer, bananas, bison. It also not only carry over more food once your city grows, but now it also gives 25 instant yield of food to that city, which should get you to the population needed to build your first settler, which is very important. So that's the first change. And then, oh yeah, I don't remember if I mentioned this, but for AIs, I think I did. Like for AIs, like immortals, their units get extra vision, +1 for immortal and +2 for deity. But now AI units that are recon units, basically your pathfinder scouts, they don't get the extra vision because that would be very powerful. And in case I didn't mention it, the reason why they put that is with more vision, the AI can make better decisions and they would be more difficult to deal with in wars. At least that's the idea. I don't know if they actually scout out your territory and see if you're a threat or not, but maybe. Okay, next we have Wonders, which is the Alhambra. So if you remember before Alhambra, basically all melee units, whether mounted or like melee, mounted armor melee units, they all get a free drill, which is very powerful because if you combine that with barracks, armory, military academy, you can actually, like for your melee or gunpowder units, you can actually get stalwart because you get the free drill, then you get drill 2, drill 3, stalwart, right? 3 promotions. And then if you are really able to stack up the experience, you can actually get stalwart at blitz. But now that's not possible, which is a shame. I actually enjoy that, but they're making these changes, so I guess we'll have to see. So right now it said Alhambra gives this Jeanette, I don't know how you pronounce it, promotion, which is only given to mounted melee units you have previously created. I guess not armor units. So the idea is they get +50 combat strength when attacking. Wait, what? Abilities plus. I'm so confused. Let me just So there was a okay, so before it was plus 10% combat strength. This is the September 9th version. Plus 10% combat strength when attacking. And then you actually have yeah, get this. Range attack prior to attacking, a 50% chance to withdraw. So now it's just plus 50% combat strength with attacking and chance to withdraw. Wait, apparently you have plus 10% combat strength, plus 25 with attacking cities. So it can actually make mounted units decent city attackers. Because normally they get what, 33% penalty? So if you have that, you will get like only an 8% penalty. And if you get drill, you can actually neutralize it. Still not the best, but it still makes them decent. So this was removed. The range attack was removed in the September 15th version. The idea is it was what the Zulu had, like their impi, where they have this range attack which does some damage. Then they do basically they attack twice, but the first time they don't take damage, which makes them extremely powerful. And having this on mounted units where you have knights, yeah, it's kind of broken. Just saying. Anyways, next we have the tech things. So first, before farming is available in agriculture, now it's available in pottery. So that is, as you can see, now pottery has fish, farming, granary. It's basically a food heavy tech. So essentially, it's set up in a way that really helps you in terms of growing your city so that you could get settlers sooner. The fish is revealed on pottery, and pottery and trapping has swapped, as you can see. Before, where pottery is where trapping is. Now they're swapped. Trapping, still deer, bison, like fish is no longer in trapping, which is fine because yeah, pottery leads to fishing, so that's perfectly fine. And yeah, what this does is that now archery. So now if you go for mathematics, yeah, they changed it. I think it was it was the September 9th version where you no longer use trade and military theory. It made no sense why mathematics is so hard to reach. So now you like archer actually leads to composite bowman as opposed to before, you get it in pottery and you can bypass everything and get mathematics. So I'm fine with this. This does make things more interesting though. So if you go pottery, you will need it for trade. Yeah, you will need it for trade, but all the other wonders are kind of just compressed in other spots. And then banana is revealed at agriculture. So it doesn't give you extra yields unless you build a granary, which gives you +1 food. I think so. Yeah. Otherwise, revealing bananas might allow you to plant things around, but ultimately it doesn't give you extra yields. So I'm fine with that. Wheat, yeah, everything else is still the same there. And then next, city assault for melee units that reduces damage for a city by 50%. So yeah, the problem is before when you get city assault for melee units, it doesn't actually help you in that like cities can still do a ton of damage, and chances are you probably can't outdo the damage of a city as you will shortly have to withdraw. Now city assault, I need to see it. Let's see, city assault. So yeah, now you just have, normally you have the extra combat bonus attacking cities. Now you also reduce damage taken by city, which early on could be very powerful because that's going to be the bulk of their damage. And also sneak attack, if I remember correctly. Sneak attack is the promotion you get from the Chris Swordsman of Indonesia, but I need to be certain. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the Chris Swordsman that gets a sneak attack. Before it was 10%, now 20%. I still don't know if it's worth it, but until I actually test it, I won't know. So next, and this is the last change for September 9th version. Naval range, the combat strength got decreased. I think it's combat strength, not range combat strength. So now they'll be a bit easier to take down as opposed to. I remember at one point, range units were really hard to, like if you use a melee unit to attack the range unit, let's just say that it doesn't work very well. Anyways, sorry, I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Anyways, so continuing with this. So that's it for the September 9th version. Now we're looking at the September 15th version. First, for combat, there's something experimental. So unit no longer suffer additional damage for range attacks based on missing health. So the idea is that before, if your if your unit is damaged, apparently range units actually does more damage. For example, if you have, let's say, 98 HP and 100 HP, and you have the same unit attacking both of them, the 98 HP will take a bit more damage due to something called missing health bonus. So now that's changed, where regardless of how much health they have, they will take the same amount of damage. That's gonna be interesting. And normally you're like, oh, like certain promotions are still relevant. Like for example, accuracy, you still get more if they're above 50%. Just before, if you have missing health, apparently range units get more damage. They're changing that, so we'll see how that works out. And now, city defense minimum based on garrison unit strength. So, yeah, it is very weird when, let's say, you have an ironclad with, 55 combat strength? Right? You have an ironclad with 55 combat strength. Oh, 60 combat strength. And then you put it in a city without walls, and it has, 10? Like, if you did go fealty, you'll have, 10 combat strength. It's just really weird. I actually kind of like that because it makes it harder for cities to just switch hands very easily. Because otherwise, it's like 10 combat strength. You could easily kill that unit within. I mean, I've been guilty of that in the past, where I just let the AI take the city with one of their highly promoted, and then I have a siege unit nearby that just did sick amounts of damage and just killed the unit aside. So this should make it better. Next, we have promotions. Bombardment 1, 2, 3 city attacks are reduced by 10%. So cruisers, if they go bombardment, they actually did a lot of damage to cities. The reduction probably won't, it will weaken them a bit. They will still be fairly dominant, but I think it's better so that defenders have more time to react. And next, like I said, for the Jeanette, I don't know how you pronounce it, they dropped the range attack. It's just too powerful. It just makes mounted units so much more dangerous, and they just added more combat strength. I think that's fine. Next, we have, wow, this is a really small thing. Yeah, small tweaks, mostly experimental. So I guess it's a good thing I combined the two. So next we have industry. So industry have been changed a little bit. So first you have $100 production bonus to opener. So right now you have plus 100% production speed of trade stations and seaports. The issue before is usually you already built those, so it's kind of not worthwhile because you get that policy and you don't benefit from it. But with the opener, with proper timing, it might have a pretty big impact. And as a result, the opener, it had the plus 10 gold every time you construct a building scaling with era. That got switched around. Basically, now you have to work a bit more to get gold from finishing buildings. So I feel putting it later is not quite worth it, but we'll see. Have to test it out. And also the size from buildings. So before it was 1% science and 3% culture, if I remember correctly. That's 3% science, that's 3% culture. When I make a huge impact, maybe not a huge one, but it will be noticeable over the long term. Anyways, that's it for all of these changes. Thank you everyone for watching. To be honest, right now I feel like progress is kind of weak, but that might just be me, or just